And you didn't think that there was anything positive about the pandemic. MarkRogersTV, the voice of college football, breaking down the game we love with the best discussion, debate, and analysis. We try hard each day to deliver on that mission statement. All right. Yes, the positive in the pandemic is that although we reviewed all the schedules, at least in 3 of the major conferences months ago, because of the pandemic and the revision of schedules, schedule release number 2 came from the SEC on Monday. Therefore, we're breaking down the schedules in the SEC. We'll get to the ACC and the Big 12 in the next several weeks. We start in the SEC, and again, these schedules released on Monday. Please subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for the notifications. That way you know when we're going live, which is just about every day at the Voice of College Football. The Tennessee Volunteers, one of the intriguing teams of 2020. A season removed from a bowl win against Indiana, in which Tennessee turned around a lost season in September after losses to Georgia State and BYU. Jeremy Pruitt is recruiting well. Will that talent come to fruition? Can they challenge Georgia and Florida in the SEC Eastern Division? Well, here's the schedule. Okay, the numbers that you see there on the side of the board are the numbers of the win probability projection by both the ESPN FPI, the Football Power Index, and then, of course, myself. So I made my estimations before looking up the FPI, and so those are the win probabilities. But keep in mind, I may have a win probability over 50% and still predict that team to lose the game, or I could have a win probability of under 50% and predict the team to win the game. Not every favorite wins the game. Also, keep in mind that I think that there are sometimes better teams that lose the games. I think the classic example would be, go back to 2016, the Pitt game at Clemson. The Tigers eventually win the national championship, but as a heavy favorite against Pitt, they won the game. Were they the better team? Yes. Would I state the win probability to be 85 to 90% for Clemson? Yes. Did Pitt on that particular week, on that particular Saturday, win the game as a heavy underdog that would, on just about any other day, lose the game? Yes, they did. So keep in mind that we've been charting top 25 games for the past few years here at MarkRogersTV, the voice of college football. And more than between 20 and 25% of the games in the top 25 are upsets. All right, let's get to Tennessee. All right, they open at South Carolina, Eastern Division foe, should be a close game. The FPI actually is very, very heavily weighted toward home field advantage. I think too much. I give Tennessee a 57% chance of winning the game, FPI at 43%. I take Tennessee in defeating South Carolina on the road in Week 1. The FPI and myself pretty close on the Missouri projection there at 72 and 68%. Tennessee does win that game at home in Knoxville against the Tigers. Then they go on the road to Georgia. Did I consider Tennessee winning this game? Do I believe that they've got a fighter's chance and even better than a puncher's chance at Georgia? Absolutely. I'm at 25% chance for the Vols compared to the FPI's 9% against the mighty Bulldogs, but Georgia will eke out a win and defeat Tennessee in this one. Intriguing game the next week at home against Kentucky, in which Tennessee is at 55 or 53% as a favorite, slight favorite against the Wildcats and Mark Stoops. If there is going to be a team that's going to break out and possibly challenge Georgia and Florida, it should be the winner of this Kentucky-Tennessee game. But I like the Wildcats despite being on the road in beating Tennessee in one game that we all want to watch as SEC football fans and college football fans. All right, the game against Alabama is in Knoxville. The FPI with a 9% chance for the Vols in winning that game. I give Tennessee a little bit more credit in this one still. A heavy underdog at 22%. Tennessee loses for a 3rd consecutive week against Alabama. They now stand at 2-3 on the season. But the schedule lightens up considerably against a team, and of course we'll break down the Hogs schedule coming up. But Arkansas could be headed toward an 0-4 in 2020. Tennessee goes to Arkansas. They win it. I've got an 80% win probability there. Big win for the Vols at home against Texas A&M. Obviously a bit of a toss-up game. The FPI not crediting Tennessee here with only a 32% chance of winning. I've got the Vols at 55%, and I think Tennessee wins the game at home against Texas A&M. Road dates at Auburn and Vandy. I believe they split. They've got a shot at Auburn as a 40% play for me, but the FPI thinks Auburn is a heavy favorite against. Again, the road versus home discrepancy for the FBI is way too strong. Tennessee with only a 12% chance winning on the Plains. I've got a 40% chance, but they still lose the game. They go to Vanderbilt the next week. They win in Nashville. Then they finish out against Florida. Yes, the Gators are the better team as it sits right here on the second week of August. But Tennessee wins against Florida at home. A rare win against the Gators is what I think is a 44% chance of win for the Vols, but they turn over the upset and winning to conclude a 6-4 season. We'll have to wait and see about bowl games, which probably will be non-existent. So Tennessee will sit home during postseason play unless we've got a miracle and the Bulls are saved here in 2020. My look at the Tennessee Vols. Would love to get your record projection for Tennessee football. I've got the Vols at 6-4 right here at Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football.